Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Rolex Yacht-Master 42 Titanium Reference 226627. It's a new release as of 2023. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of the Yacht-Master, a little bit about where it lands with the rest of the watches in its category, in the Yacht-Master category, and then I'm going to talk about the bezel, dial, case, bracelet movement, try it on, and finally I'll give you my thoughts on this watch. So let's start with a little bit of history for the Yacht-Master. The Yacht-Master has not been out for all that long. I want to say approximately 20 years. In terms of its history, it's one of the earlier ones. Now Rolex has many lines that have very long history, such as the Submariner, the Daytona, the Sea Dweller, and these ones have been around for a very long time. And when I say long, I mean 50, 70 years, something like that. The Yacht-Master is a relatively new release. It came out originally around 20 years ago. I want to say around 2000 or something around there, maybe late 90s, 2000. And when it came out, it only came out in one variation, which was steel with a platinum bezel. That was it. Oh, and they came with two-tone, and later on they came out with two-tone. They came out with gold, and that was actually, I want to say, not in 2000. They came out with earlier versions in the mid 90s. So it's been around for actually almost 30 years, but not quite as long as their other lines, like their Submariner, which has been around for like 60, 70, 80 years, something like that. Okay, or their Datejust that's been around for like a long time, 100 years or something like that. So, anyways, the Yacht-Master, it's relatively new. As far as the sports line is concerned, it's one of the newest ones. I think maybe the Air King is newer, and I think maybe that's it. The Skydweller is newer, but that's not a sports line, that's a dress line. So in terms of the sports line, it's one of the newer versions that they have. Okay, so that's a little bit about the history. Now, where it compares with the rest of its models, now the Yacht-Master it originally only came in size 40, and it came in steel. Then they came out with some other versions, which is they came out with originally they came with it in steel and yellow gold back in the 90s. That one never did well. They came out with a lot of strange dials, which was like white dial and black onyx markers. It was totally weird. Nobody liked it, and it sold like crap. And then when they reintroduced it, it now comes on rose gold and steel, and those ones have done very well, all 40 millimeters. And then they also came out with it on precious metal. They changed it to 40 millimeter. They also have 42 as on white gold, on yellow, on rose gold, and it comes out on Oyster Flex, which is rubber. But the most recent one is what you see here. So they have never come out with a 42 until now. And of course, Panerai does very many special things. Sorry, Panerai. Yeah, Rolex does very many special things in that they not only produced the Yacht-Master 42, they also produced it the first time any of their watches in titanium. No, none of their other watches are made in titanium, except actually, sorry, they make a deep sea challenge that was just new release this year in titanium. It's 50 millimeters, but that's not a very common watch. So let's just say this is the only wearable one. Most people don't have a wrist size of that can wear a 50 millimeter watch. So anyways, the Yacht-Master 42 is the only one, and so that makes it pretty cool. And it's larger, and as a result of being larger, it would be heavier, but they made it in titanium, so it's actually lighter. And it's actually stronger too, because titanium is stronger than steel. Okay, so that's about the history. Now let's talk about the case. The case itself, as I told you, is 42 millimeters. The entire watch is made of titanium, and Rolex, as you would expect, uses grade 5 titanium selected by Rolex to be especially lightweight, but also mechanically strong and corrosion resistant. And if you notice, if I had another watch you can compare to, or if you have one yourself, you can kind of tell that the titanium is a little bit darker. It's like steel. It's similar to steel in that similar look, but it's darker. It has this just darker look to it, and it's also lighter and stronger. Okay, and as a result of that, it's very difficult to manufacture and make watches out of titanium because of how strong and difficult it is to work with, as you could imagine. So that might be one of the reasons why Rolex has never actually used titanium in any of their watches until now. Okay, so that's the case. Now the 42 millimeter case size, and the 42 millimeters from my thumb to my index finger, that's the longest distance across the bezel. Okay, everything else about it is the same. Okay, now let's move on to the bezel. Now the bezel, it's a bidirectional, meaning it goes both ways. On most watches, like Submariner, or actually dive watches, the bezel is only unidirectional. Now, it's bidirectional on the Yacht-Master because you're not using this thing to dive underwater, although you could. And the bezel itself is also interesting. It looks like a rubber bezel, but it's actually a ceramic bezel, but the base of it is matte, meaning it has a dull finish. And then they put the numerals in a polished finish. So it has a combination of both matte and polished on the numerals and matte on the back of it, or on the base of it. So it really looks fantastic, and they make it all in ceramic so that it never fades, it never scratches, and it's just going to maintain its look like this forever. Now, one of the benefits, if you compare it to the platinum bezel, the platinum bezel, I've seen it gets totally messed up. You wear it a little bit, it gets scratches everywhere, it just looks terrible. But with this bezel, it's going to look like this forever, and it just really looks fantastic. And it's not too showy either because they put it in matte. If you compare that, for example, to the Submariner bezel is actually shiny. So not everybody wants a shiny watch. You might want a matte finish, right? Just like not everybody wants a shiny pair of leather shoes. You might want a matte finish leather shoes, right? It just depends on what you want. In this case, it's matte. So it's a very nice bezel, and yeah, it's nice. Okay, and it's bidirectional, and it allows you to tell time over a certain distance. And Rolex says, since this watch is meant for yachting, that you could tell the time between two buoys. So let's say, for example, you are at one buoy and you want to get to the next one, you want to see how far it is, you just simply turn the bezel so that the triangle of the bezel is at the minute hand, and then as the minute hand progresses, it'll tell you the time on the bezel, for example, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, etc. So you can tell, oh, it's been, X number of minutes to get to the next buoy. Although it's not very accurate because you don't see graduations on it, right? So, or actually, there are graduations on the watch itself, so I guess you could be accurate, but you do need to do a little bit of calculating, staring at it. But okay, anyways, that's the bezel. Let's move on to the bracelet. Now the bracelet is also made in titanium, as you expect, because the rest of the watch is made in titanium. It uses an Oyster bracelet. They don't make it in any other configuration. There's no Jubilee, there's no Oyster Flex, there is only titanium, and what you see here. But the cool thing about it is, as with many of the Rolexes, it has an Oyster lock safety clasp, which just means that the top needs two things in order to close it. You have the safety flip lock, you flip it, and then you have the clasp itself, which is very unlikely to open in an accident because you have two measures of safety to keep it closed. But it also has a EasyLink 5mm comfort extension, which is really good because it allows you to change the distance or the size of the watch when it's hot or cold without having to really use any tools. Okay, all right, so let's move on to I guess we should talk about the dial a little bit. The dial is what Rolex calls intense black. And now I'm not really sure what the difference between intense black is and regular black. Maybe it's just a marketing thing, I'm not really sure. But at any rate, it's a beautiful black. Definitely, it's a very beautiful black. And it has a very highly legible chroma-light display with long-lasting blue luminescence. So when I shine this light at it, you can see that the hour markers are this big, huge circle, rectangle, triangle. So that means, why would you do that with these simple signs? Well, these are all, signs that we learned how to make when we were little kids, right? So it's easy to read. That means if I'm at night or underwater, or let's say on a yacht, and I need to read it very quickly, it luminesces and tells me, and I always know the triangle is 12 o'clock, right? And I know the rectangle is 6 and 9 because, and the rest is circles. So it makes it very legible, especially in the dark, thanks to this chroma light display. And it's called Lume, actually. Okay, and it lasts a very long time. Rolex doesn't say how long, but they say the luminescent material emits a long-lasting glow. Okay, so that is the hour markers. Now let's talk about the movement. The movement is your standard 3235 movement. Almost all Rolexes with a date that is greater than 36 millimeters is going to use this 3235 movement. And why wouldn't they? It's an excellent movement. Rolex has since updated it. It used to be a 3135, now it is a 3235. It has a power reserve of 70 hours. It's very precise, plus minus 2 seconds a day. A lot of great things about it, so I really don't know why Rolex wouldn't use it. They do use it. Okay, time to try it on and give you my thoughts. So I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I have a wrist size of 7.5 inches. And as you can see, this 42 millimeter really actually looks better on me than the 40. I don't have anything against the 40. It's still a great size. But if I had to choose at my wrist size of being 7.5 inches wrist size, I would actually have to say that it's better to go 42. Now, who would benefit from a 42? I would have to say those who have a wrist size of 7 inches or larger. And that equates to somebody who's like, let's say at least 160 pounds. If you're 160 pounds or greater, you probably have a wrist size of 7 inches or larger, and you could wear a 42. Now, if you have a wrist size smaller than that, I would probably say it's not the watch for you. You probably should go with the Yacht-Master 40 if you really like the Yacht-Masters, because size is important. You want to make sure you have a nice, size to it. I just realized while looking at this watch, by the way, when I look at the case, this is one of the few watches that have beveled edges on the case. I forgot to mention that. When you look at the case, okay, where the lugs are, almost all, and this is something that Rolex has brought back from the old school. It takes a lot more work to bevel the edge right here. So it's satin finished on the top, and you have a beveled edge right here. Really high-end watches do this, such as Audemars Piguet. They do this, and you don't really see it on Rolexes until now. And that's actually something I forgot to mention now that I'm looking at it. Okay, anyways, my thoughts back on this watch is that it's a stealthy watch. It's light, it's ultra sporty, it's very beautiful. It combines all the greatest parts and technology that Rolex has to offer: titanium, excellent movement, ceramic bezel, and the new case that I just talked to you about, comfortable bracelet, excellent brand. So it combines all those things into one little package sitting right here. Now, if you want to buy this watch, click on the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.